Wanted to dive into the Commanders' opponent this weekend. The Miami Dolphins come to town. They will be at FedEx Field this Sunday. The most explosive player amongst a group of them is Tyreek Hill. And this stat is pretty mind-blowing. Tyreek Hill has 1,324 receiving yards on the season.
Mm-hmm.
That is more than every Patriots wide receiver combined. That's one. It's more than every Falcons wide receiver combined on the season, and more than every Jets wide receiver combined for the season. The Jets have 1,126 yards from their receivers. The Falcons are at 1,147. The Patriots are at 1,273. Tyreek is at 1,324. We know that he was talking before the season even started that his goal was to reach 2,000 yards receiving. And he's on pace to do that.
Yeah. So 6 games left, he needs roughly 700.
Like, I don't think anybody's going to be shocked if he walks out of FedEx Field with an 8 or 10 catch game for 150 yards and at least 1 touchdown.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
That's just his MO. That's kind of what he does at this point. And especially if the Commanders can't mount any sort of pass rush against Tua and can't move him off his spot, can't disrupt that rhythm that they have. Could be a long day for this Commander secondary with Ron calling the plays for the first time with Jack Del Rio gone.
And what the Dolphins do is they feast on weaker opponents.
Yep.
And what are the Commanders? They're a weaker opponent. Like, think about some of these teams in the NFL. I was thinking about this as we were talking about the Seahawks who play tonight. So they've lost a couple in a row. Who's their last one? Washington. You know, some of these teams, the Giants have won a handful of games, 2 of them against Washington. The Patriots, who haven't been able to score lately, they had a high output against Washington with 17 points. Washington's defense is horrific. I would be stunned if they don't score at least 35. In fact, when we do our picks on Friday, I'll put the Dolphins in the 40s.
And this Dolphins team, they do what I think a lot of people wish Eric Bieniemy would do with the top 2 receivers here. He gets his offense locked in on Hill and Waddle.
He throws to those guys.
I mean, Hill has 88 grabs. Waddle has 52. The next highest on the list is Braxton Berrios with 20. So this offense...
And they also can run the ball.
They can run the ball. They're very good at that.
They're second in the league in rushing.
Is Achane going to be back?
He's
questionable.
Is questionable at this point.
Yep.
And I would guess if there's weather issues and the field is sloppy and they have any reservations about playing him, I would guess he probably won't go.
I think Mostert's going to go.
Mostert looks like he's a go, and Jeff Wilson is there. So I'm guessing McDaniel is thinking, I'd like to have Achane for the playoffs. Maybe rest him this week on a potentially dicey field and playing surface, and just go with Mostert and Wilson.
And these are also, these last few games are huge games for all of those teams leading the division, because the goal is to have that 1 seed and have that bye. Right now the Ravens would have it, and the Ravens are on bye this week. But, you know, Chiefs, who have the head-to-head with the Dolphins because they beat them. The Jags are just in front of them. So you've got 4 teams with 3 losses, Dolphins being one of them. When you look at the Dolphins and who they beat, they haven't beaten any real good teams. Like you mentioned, they beat the Chargers, the Patriots twice. They scored 70 against Denver when Denver was really struggling. They beat the Giants and the Panthers. And they beat the Raiders and the Jets. So they
People
really
don't take them totally seriously.
They haven't beaten anybody really.
They score a lot of points.
They score a lot of points. Their 3 losses are 3 legit playoff teams.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not the Bills, but the Bills.
Bills are legit.
Eagles,
they are what they are.
And Chiefs. So
that's why they don't take them seriously, because when they've had these head-to-head matchups, they haven't won.
Correct.
Now, the Chiefs game was close.
Yep.
They were behind, though. Weren't they behind 21-0 in that Chiefs game?
I think they were, and they made it interesting. That was a home game. But
they trailed 21-0 at the half. They scored.
I don't know how you
third quarter.
How you feel about Miami in the playoffs, but do you feel like Miami is good enough? If the playoffs started today, they would play a home game against the Steelers. All right, but then they would have to go play, Baltimore or the Chiefs or someone like that on the road. And
I don't like their chances.
Do you feel?
The top
do you
teams.
feel confident that Miami could go on the road in a really tough stadium, tough environment like Baltimore,
Might be tough,
or Kansas City, and beat them?
especially if it's cold and there's weather issues. I think Tua thrives in obviously warmer weather.
Yeah.
Like when he's playing in Miami, it definitely helps him. And now when you're getting into December and January games, it's going to be tougher for that offense.
I think when you look,
that's why these games are huge for teams like Miami because they want to play at home.
Right.
Well, I think they're going to win this week, obviously. I think they'll win next week against Tennessee. I think they'll beat the Jets.
Then it gets tough.
But they only really need to get one of those. Right?
Yeah, I mean, if you do that, you're already
Then
11-3.
Right. Then you get to 12. So if all they have to do is beat Dallas, Baltimore, and if they beat Buffalo, for sure they're going to get a bye.
After the game at FedEx, 4 of their remaining 5 games are at home.
Mm-hmm.
Their only real potential
the Baltimore
cold
game
weather
would be
game
tough.
is New Year's Eve in Baltimore.
Did you see that cut that Tua had?
Laceration on his arm or something.
I did not.
Yeah, it was like right in the middle of his tattoo. Does the tattoo...
He sloughed it off. He didn't think it was a big deal.
Well, we just have a gap in the tattoo.
I know. I thought about that. It's going to mangle your tattoo.
I don't know. It's a good question.
They actually have 17 guys on their injury report. Now, even Tyreek Hill's on there.
Starting to get optimistic, EB.
Not surprised.
Just saying, Mostert's on there. Tyreek Hill's on there. I mean, has Chase Claypool done a lot for that?
He's
No.
done.
Really.
He's done basically
does
as much
nothing.
as you've done.
He's
for the
on there.
Dolphins.
Washington doesn't have nearly as many, I don't believe. I don't know.
You know Hill's playing. I mean, these guys are all going to play.
I assume.
Most
but is there
play.
a chance that they don't play him because they think it's a walk?
I think a lot of times,
Because I
sometimes
think
those are like veteran designated days. Like they'll just give the guy a day off. Say, yeah, he's got an ankle injury.
So you don't
Type
think it's a big deal?
I wouldn't
The
expect
infamous-
to
Because even though it's Washington and Washington's not any good, these are still big games. They have to win these games.
Right. The infamous matchup predictor has the Dolphins 80.4%.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it much higher than that.
in a road game.
80.4%. Now, if weather kicks in, it doesn't
But they have a really good
necessarily
running
help
game,
us
too.
because
Yes.
we don't really run the ball.
Yeah.
And they do. They can run.
And I was a little bit surprised. I saw the Dolphin fan turnout for their game in New York. They had a pretty sizable fan contingent at
Really?
MetLife. So I'm going to guess that there's going to be a lot of Aqua jerseys up in the stands at FedEx this weekend. Mm-hmm. There's going to be some Dolphin fan infiltration in Landover.
Yeah, it'll be annoying. But
I mean, Tua's completing 70% of his passes.
Right.
no, he's really good. And he is a great example, like we were talking about earlier, of people that did kind of want to bail on him after his first year. And he did fine after his first year. But it wasn't great.
But also adding Tyreek Hill to the mix.
That was
what
huge.
Really elevated him. And look, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to surround your quarterback
Yeah,
with
don't wanna-
weapons.
You don't want
and
to give him nothing.
and explosive playmakers.
And on the other side, you're facing a team that has Jalen Ramsey.
Yes. Their secondary is pretty good. Now, they haven't faced a lot of great passing teams.
I don't
ones
think
that
the
they've
enemy
beaten.
cares. I mean, he's like,
Oh, he's gonna
if you
throw it
look at
40
Sam-
times.
Yeah, if you see Sam Howell, I believe he's 42 or more attempts in 6 straight games. That's just what this offense does. And they're going to be trailing in this game, barring some sort of weird happenstance or miracle by the Commanders. They're going to be chasing points throughout this game, which means you're probably going to be throwing the ball, maybe even more than normal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wouldn't be shocked to see Sam have 52 attempts in this game.
Oh,
55 attempts.
they're
Mostert,
going to try to get away from that.
Mostert's averaging 5.2 per carry
Yeah, I mean,
with
he's
13 touchdowns.
been a perfect fit for this offense. The only rap on him is he has a hard time staying healthy.
Yeah.
Was he 31 or 32
He's
at this
31.
point? Okay.
Yeah, it's 31.
It's just
It's a
a very daunting game.
it really is. I mean, they're powerful.
I mean, I think you got to go old school. You got to probably go against the enemy's notion. You got to try to keep the ball out of their hands as long as you can. You got to win the time
I
of
mean,
possession.
I like the,
I mean, it's
the
a theory.
concept.
No, I'm just
but
saying, what else can you do? You got you got you
look,
got to
you don't
run
want
the
to get
ball
in a
a little
shootout
bit.
with this team. 'cause
Right,
You're
that's
going
what
to
I'm saying.
lose
So you got to
that.
run the
But
ball by more than what you're comfortable with. You're going to have to try to grind
I
out
mean,
some first downs.
If you're down 17-3 early in the second
well, you can't.
quarter,
No, you got to get away from that.
I
That's
just
the whole
don't
point.
see
You got to
them-
get away from that. You can't be down 17-3. If you're down 17-3, it's over. You can't be down 17-3. You got to be down like 7-3.
Okay, well, good luck. Good luck containing this offense to like 7 points through a quarter.
And remember
plus.
last year when
Well, you just have
one
to
of-
hold
Well, it
the
doesn't even
football.
matter for a quarter plus. You can do it for 3 quarters. Look what happened in the Dallas game. It's 20-10. Wasn't a blowout. It ended up
Just got away.
Last year when
Got away.
Tua was getting banged up, he had the concussion issue, and that was a serious issue.
Right. Yeah, I was banking on him being out by now.
They've done a good job.
I remember
They've
that.
done a good job. He doesn't get sacked that much.
Yeah. That's
So I don't know what they
that's
did.
What Joe P said. He doesn't get sacked, but he gets ragdolled.
Yeah.
When they do.
Well, he's a
they
smaller
do,
guy.
Yeah, they just throw him, and
Yeah, he's a
that's
smaller
when he gets
guy.
pummeled.
But I don't know.
That's why he did all the jiu-jitsu
They must have
and
done
judo.
something in the offseason with their line, or they're just playing better because he's not getting sacked.
Right. He also trained like how to fall correctly.
Yes.
Or as best you can when guys are like slamming you to the turf to try to avoid
Right, because
more head
he was
trauma.
never getting touched in college.
Right.
All right, let's bang out a couple of these. Let's go to Annette in Haymarket. Annette, it says, "Wow, we got it. We got a senior citizen here." Annette.
Absolutely, you do, and I think you guys are great. You're real.
Thank you.
Oh,
Annette.
you're
I
awesome.
just-
How can you tell the boys how old you are?
87.
Ooh,
87.
Very nice.
I love that.
Getting it done.
You
Annette.
sound like
Well
are
done.
you like in great health?
I am. I'm a retired nurse. The Lord's been really good to me, and I play pickleball. I'm on the volleyball team. Yeah,
I love
I walk my dog a mile every day.
You know what? People sleep
awesome.
on people sleep on bocce. Fun.
Did you say bocce? I thought she said
No,
basketball.
she said
No,
pickleball
bocce.
bocce.
Oh,
I don't really
great,
know-
great beach game.
I
Great
actually
beach
don't
game.
really know what it
Great
is. You
beach
throw
game.
a ball at it to hit another ball, kind of like croquet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No.
It's more like bowling, but easier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, anyway, my dad took me to Griffith Stadium. I saw Sammy Baugh play when I was very little. I don't remember it. And we had season tickets for many years, and even kept them when my husband was transferred all around the country. I've been rooting for this team. I hope that this weekend they don't play man-to-man, because I don't think if they don't play, zone, I don't think they're going to be able to.
Hey, you know
I
what?
think
Jack
you're right.
Del Rio's gone. You can maybe email
Are
Ron
you-
some of your thoughts.
Are you expecting a little better performance with Ron there
Email.
now?
I don't
Electronic
know.
mail.
My dad used to always say, if they're not going to win, well, in those days they didn't have a Super Bowl. If they weren't going to win their division, then it'd be better off if they lost and get a better draft picks. I keep hoping that the Bears.
Embrace the
I don't want
tank. And that
Bears
is my
win.
lady. I love her.
Annette, are you still married?
My husband is gone, and I have 11 grandchildren, 4 adult children. I'm very blessed.
Oh my
You are.
God.
Hey, Annette,
Yep.
do you drive? Do you drive
Oh,
still?
yeah.
Dude, she sounds like
I
she's
know.
Sounds
totally-
like more
She
wisdom
sounds like
than
she's
me.
with
You know
it.
that Cakes would have taken your license away 17
I've
years ago.
softened on that, by the way, and that you would just have to pass a very stringent written and on-course driving test every 2 years.
I bet you she's as good a driver as you.
No chance.
I bet.
Well,
No chance. My reactions.
I don't
Look,
drive
no
at night because
disrespect.
I don't feel like I don't drive at night, but
Thank
I drive
you.
during the day, and
No
I feel I do
disrespect.
well.
My
I know you
reaction
do well.
time way better than
I
Annette's.
can tell you do well.
I think seniors should have a more stringent driving test. I really do.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
thank
that's
you.
fair.
Annette, are you still living in the house that you and your husband were in?
No, I moved to the Carter's Mills retirement for 55 and older community.
Oh, good.
And it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super.
So much
Do they-
pickleball
do they-
must be happening there.
Oh yeah.
All the pickleball.
Do they do they provide the
Now the
meals?
Pardon me?
Do they provide the meals for you?
No,
No,
it's
you just
not
get a
assisted
home in a
living.
lot of those
No, I know, but I
communities.
know a guy. He's a doctor. He retired doctor, and his wife has MS or whatever. And so because of that, they live in a retirement community. And he was telling me the deal. It's unbelievable. You don't pay that much. They get all the meal. They go and they eat their dining room meals every day.
Yeah, but
You
how
know,
much do they pay for the actual
It's
property?
actually not that much. It's actually
maybe
not that
maybe
much.
not monthly, but what do you have to pay for the actual property? You know what I mean? That could be expensive.
I'm not sure that he owns it. I think they,
Or they just rent it.
maybe.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I
Yeah.
hope we get some offensive linemen so they can block, and then we can really see what Hal can do.
What's your greatest memory as a fan of the Commanders/Redskins?
/ Boston
oh,
Braves or whatever they were back in the day.
Well, I cried when we were living up in upstate New York. We had Bills tickets too. I have to tell you something funny. The first game at the stadium, they were playing the Redskins,
Mm-hmm.
and my husband and I and the kids drove in, and there was only 2 lanes coming in, going out.
Mm-hmm.
By the time we got in there, we were at the end of the second quarter. Mike Nels received the punt, the kickoff, not the punt, the
That's
kickoff.
early 80s.
He
Yeah.
he went back for a touchdown.
Love
we
it.
missed it all. We didn't.
Oh, you were sitting there. You were stuck in
She probably
traffic.
saw Marv Levy in his first year as head coach.
That's her greatest memory.
Well,
said
she just
greatest
told you
memory.
an
She's got a-
interesting
she's
memory.
got a bunch of them.
It could have been, just a Super Bowl moment. Or,
How old are you? How old
It
is your
was.
oldest kid now, Annette?
She's 61.
Oh my God!
Well, she's almost
Yeah.
90, Rick.
I know. It's amazing.
Yeah.
She lives in. She and her family live in Denver, and of course they root for the Broncos. I like the Broncos too. And I'm glad they've got the coach they have now. He's a good man.
Right. What do you think of Benjamin St. Juste? Are you a St. Juste fan or?
I'd ask her what she thought of Benjamin Franklin.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
You're
But I
not
just
sold
hope
on
he's
him.
good.
What
not
about
sold.
Forbes? What about the rookie?
Oh, I think he's got a lot of potential.
You
I
think he's
really
gonna be
do.
okay? What about
I think he's got a
Hal?
lot
I
of
gotta get your Hal eval.
Yeah.
She loves
Are you a
Hal.
I like
howler?
She loves Hal.
I like him. He's
Yeah.
gutty, and I think again, if they give him a good offensive line, then they're
What about-
they're going to be.
What about a jerk
Forbes,
like
I
JP that tries to compare him to Taylor Heineke?
Oh, please, no. I like Heineke is a nice kid, but he doesn't have the talent that Hal had.
Right.
But you mentioned Forbes.
She's silly.
They,
She can work
Hey,
for PMI.
we'll put you in touch with Brad Spielberger.
yeah. But Forbes, he should be playing zone. That's his thing.
Really?
Not man to man.
You don't like him in man coverage?
because he
I
likes
think-
to
why
peek
do you
in
think
on
he
the
just doesn't need to
quarterback.
take so many chances?
Hey, Annette, will Hal throw an interception Sunday?
Well, he could.
Odds are good.
He could.
Odds are
Odds are
yes.
good.
Throws more than one a
You know what?
game.
Yep.
But you know what? Everybody makes a
Because he
mistake.
throws more balls
and
than
even
anybody.
look at look at the best ones. They make mistakes.
He throws fewer
he's close.
interceptions per pass than Andrew Luck did in his first year.
Yeah, he didn't
Yeah,
do
but
too well.
you wouldn't
this
take
year.
There's a lower interception rate.
Right,
than
you
Andrew
wouldn't take
Luck.
Hal over Andrew Luck.
I'm just
though.
saying. JP has this narrative that he's some sort of interception machine. It's his first year playing. He's doing great
Well,
overall.
if I had those big men running, I don't know if I'd throw the ball any place either.
Right.
But no, I think he's got a lot of potential, and if he had a good offensive line, then we could really see what he could do.
Right.
All right, Annette,
I
feel
don't
free to
know.
call anytime, especially on an
Give
open
her the
line Thursday
hotline.
going
Give
forward.
it at the hotline.
Wow.
She can call in anytime. Give
Okay.
her
You get special
get the
privileges.
Annette evaluation.
Yeah, have a merry Christmas. God bless you all.
Same
Oh,
to
you
you.
too.
You and
You
your
too.
fam.
See you
What
later,
a sweet
Annette.
lady.
All right, Annette, look at her. 87 years old, spry.
Right?
I hope I make it to 67.
57.
Oh, 57.
I want to make it to 57.
It's
Death
always
talk.
dicey. You never.
That's a good run. 87's a good run.